you guys want to get to some questions here from the chat? What do you think? Answer a
Yeah.
few of those. All right, so here's one from No Parking 121. They ask, how do you feel about buying BTC slash IBIT on margin? Robinhood margin rates are 5 to 6%. What do you guys think about this idea? This is interesting to me, just the phrasing of this BTC slash IBIT. If it's in a margin account, it's likely that you're only able to expose yourself to an ETF to begin with this. What are your guys' thoughts on taking on a margin loan for buying a Bitcoin ETF?
I am super, super old school about this. I say take all the dollars I have, turn them into Bitcoin. I never put margin on anything. Um, really, really easy reason why Bitcoin is volatile. I don't know what's going to happen in the near term. Maybe the government will want to confiscate it. Maybe Robinhood will go down. I have no idea. But if I have money or in dollars, all I know is for the long term, I do not want to have that money in dollars. I want to have that money in Bitcoin. It's been treating me well for almost a decade now, just putting all my dollars into Bitcoin and having zero loans. And I think really what it affords you is it affords you the luxury to sleep at night. I never have to worry about whether the price of Bitcoin is going to go up or down a little bit. Just when it's yours and you don't owe any and you don't have any debt, you just sleep easier at night. You get a lot richer. And what do they say? Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, something like that. Uh, I don't take out loans. Some people do. To me, those people have to be like a little bit masochistic, but good for them because depending on when you did it, you could have made a lot of money, but it's not for me. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, I mean, you take on risk, right? That's what loan is. A loan is direct risk, and that 5 to 6%. It sounds good when you look historically at Bitcoin's CAGR of in the last 10 years. What is it, 60%, something like that? It's you're outperforming that 5%, 5 6% every year. So in that way, it looks really good. But I do agree with you that you end up taking on risk that might go against you and might just not make you sleep well at night. So I think I mostly agree with you, but yeah, I think you can. It really depends on your temperament. It depends on you as an individual. Depends on how stable everything else is. If you're not able to it kind of doesn't really make sense to take on debt when you also have cash on hand. I don't know. I would try to avoid margin when possible. That's for sure.
Yep, for sure. There's some people who use margin loans. There's some people who would never. I'm some people who do. Okay. I'm the odd man out. It's okay. I'm insane. I know. And it's because I'm just a young guy. I love gambling. Okay. And the way that this happened was during the first cycle, I never even knew about margin. I never really got into this stuff. But because I hold some MicroStrategy shares, and during the split, right before the split happened, I was like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a margin loan against my account. The price of MicroStrategy is technically going to get low enough to where I can buy options far dated into the future. And long story short, it has definitely raised my stress levels, right? But it has also increased my returns. There is a directly proportional amount to my blood pressure and my Robinhood percent gain, and it's definitely something I would not recommend. Even though it's worked out, there's also been times when I've been very not happy, right, with the performance of BTC and with MicroStrategy. And I never had that issue prior. Also, it's called strategy. I need to stop doing that. It's strategy, guys, not micro. But yeah, it's give and take. Long story short, margin is something you want to do for a very small amount of time and then get out, like leave. You do not want to have margin on your account for a long time. You do not want to deal with that because the truth is there is really zero stress with just holding BTC because you're not taking on any risk. No one's going to rug you. No one's going to take any of your stuff away. With strategy, you have to worry about Saylor getting hurt, him getting arrested, him losing his mind and just going crazy, bad PR. You have to worry about your margin account. You have to worry about making sure there's money in your account. You have to worry about, oh, Bitcoin dipped 3%. That means strategy is going to go down 25%. Like, you don't want to deal with that. All right. So I just would not recommend it. Long story short, I would not recommend it.
Yeah, well put, man. Yeah, and I think the people that do take it on, maybe just think about like not taking on a ton of it, because the more you take on, the more risk you have. And you're trying to juice your gains, but if it goes against you and you have to get liquidated or you have to sell some of your assets, then it's done the exact opposite of what you want it to do, which is you're probably wanting to take on margin so that you can acquire more Bitcoin, but it could go against you and you end up with less Bitcoin. So just be aware of that.
And one more thing to add to that really quick, just Bitcoin is a winning lottery ticket. If you have a winning lottery ticket for $1 million, don't risk it on a winning lottery ticket for $2 million. At that point, it's not life-changing. Just take the winning lottery ticket and live your best life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sleep easy. That's a good
I
idea.
agree. Margin is definitely a symptom of your greed.
Yeah. Yeah. And the leverage, we can kind of see the leverage kind of gets worked out of these systems because the spot traders don't really want it in there. So you might get caught up in that. Here we got BarQuest asking in a similar kind of vein as far as like adding some risk to the situation. When do you think we'll reach the point where we can earn passive income from our Bitcoin in a truly non-custodial way, allowing us to never actually sell our Bitcoin? This is an interesting question.
Okay. Gen Z, do you want to take this one? I feel like you're going to have a good answer.
Well, the truth is, none of us know. There's no way to tell. However, when we see banks coming into the space, we see all these big financial institutions coming into the space. They're buying large swaths of Bitcoin, right? This is kind of what they're getting ready for, right? And part of the problem is they want your Bitcoin. Okay. They really do. So when you leave it with them, all right, if something goes wrong, at the end of the day, you're probably getting paid out in fiat. They have Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. There's going to have to be a lot of security involved and a lot of guarantees involved and a lot of in-kind redemption involved in order for me to ever think about lending out Bitcoin or doing anything like that or trying to get yield on Bitcoin, because that's what happened at Voyager and I got smoked. Right. So I didn't understand self custody. I didn't understand that you could have a hardware wallet. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't know what that was. And now that I do know, I don't know if I can ever lend my Bitcoin to someone. I don't mind taking out a little bit of debt against strategy shares because that's already risky as it is. And I don't own those shares, regardless if they say, oh, it's in your brokerage account. Not really. Anything happens, any reason, they could say I'm an enemy of the state. I'm saying too many mean things online. They can take away my shares, but they cannot take away my Bitcoin very easily. So I don't know, man. There's no way to tell, but the banks are coming.
And for me, I'm going to answer this question. That was a great answer, by the way. I'm going to answer this question a little differently. So when do you think we'll be able to reach a point where we can earn passive income from our Bitcoin in a truly non-custodial way? Never. I just think that fundamentally that doesn't make sense on a Bitcoin standard. That is a kind of fiat way of thinking. And what I would encourage the person who wrote this to do is say, instead of thinking about passive income on your money, just think about how much your Bitcoin value is going up in price and just sell small chunks of it at a time. Because who cares about having a cash flow when your net worth is just going up so much faster than it would be if you were getting a cash flow? So just buy the Bitcoin, it doubles in price, and you need some money for something, sell a little bit of it, and that's okay. That's called living your best life. That's what Bitcoin is really designed to do. It's designed to help people be wealthy. And what do I mean by be wealthy? It's not just have money in the bank. It means being able to live the lifestyle that you want to live. So when do I think you'll be able to loan out your Bitcoin in a safe way? Never. I mean, even look back to the 1300s with the Medici banks, right? Those were the first ones to invent fractional reserve banking. They fucked it up, and every bank has been messing it up along the way. No third party has ever been able to store someone else's wealth securely, especially when they're lending it out for passive income. That kind of thing just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. My thoughts on this is BarQuest never really specified how to do it safely. So maybe they understand there's risk to this, but if you're trying to earn something from your Bitcoin, you're putting that Bitcoin at risk. If it's in some sort of future savings account that pays you for it and rehypothecates it, like what we have with a savings account at in a bank now with fiat, that is obvious the risks, right? That bank could go under, the loan that they give out, the investment they make with your Bitcoin could go bad. All sorts of things could happen there. I would say on top of that, there's potential ways to make income from your Bitcoin that is not passive. And again, you're putting it at risk, but you could set up a Lightning channel and you get paid with fees from that. You could put your Bitcoin into a open source coin join like Jam Market. Again, you're earning very little from it, and it's from the Bitcoin itself. It's in a layer 2 protocol, and you're at risk of your own mistakes within those systems. And Lightning channels right now are not very profitable anyway. So, and that's a lot more active than your question of passive income. So, and I also kind of think that this idea of passive income from Bitcoin is like very fiat thinking, in the way where we try to make passive income from our fiat, and we have maybe a temporary space in time where we can arbitrage the fiat to Bitcoin difference. But that will all change once more people adopt Bitcoin and the value of fiat goes way lower. That's my thought on that one.